I put this thing over here, and so it is buried in the snow. What this is a plasma arc lighter. A viewer asked me to do a review on this little plasma lighter here, and I really wanted to do it out in the cold, but we've had an extremely mild winter. I think the coldest day I was able to capture doing this thing was 7 degrees Fahrenheit. So I was really hoping I could get below zero one of these days and see if the thing's actually, good in the cold. But I was able to leave this thing outside for 15 days. We got quite a bit of snow and moisture and rain. And if you want to know the short version, the thing did really well, actually. I'm very impressed with it. I would say for my little testing here that what I think this thing would excel at is when you're backpacking and lighting your cook stove all the time. I think that this thing would be perfect for that. I ended up ordering this thing off of Amazon because I could no longer find these things locally. These used to be everywhere around here locally. All the gas stations, hardware stores, they all had them set up. And when I went to buy one to do a review on it, I could not find one locally anywhere. And everybody I asked, they all said the same thing. They were like, we no longer sell those things. So that does make me a little suspicious that maybe people are not happy with these things, or maybe people just don't want to try them out and they're just, afraid of the technology and the batteries and whatnot. I have taken this thing on day hikes and tried to light fires with it, lit my stove with it. I've used it to light candles around the house a whole bunch. I've just tried to use it as much as possible, and I think it's pretty good overall. It's definitely waterproof, which is a real bonus, and it seems pretty good to the cold. And so far, I've had this thing for 3 months now, I believe, and I only charged it when I first got it, and it's still working. And I've tried to use it a lot in those 3 months just to make sure it was used a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty happy with it. So the rest of the video is just several clips of me leaving this thing outside overnight, it getting snowed on, it getting rained on, it being in the cold, and it's still working. But yeah, to quickly summarize again, I think these are much better than your typical, wheeled lighter that everybody carries. I think they're much better than that because you don't have to worry about these things getting wet, and they work in the cold. And they are USB rechargeable, which is really nice. Got a little USB port on there. So, in this day and age, USB is everywhere. You could recharge this thing off of a little solar panel if you had to. Lots of ways to recharge this thing, And it seems to hold a charge a really, really long time. So, in my mind, though, it's not going to replace, a ferro rod for me. I like my ferro rods. A ferro rod is proven technology for me, right? The battery's not going to go dead on a ferro rod. So, yeah. But anyway, too much rambling. Here's some footage of me trying to abuse this thing a little bit. Alright, it's basically 17 degrees outside. We're supposed to have a high of 35 today, and it's supposed to be rainy and icy and snowy and pretty darn nasty. Thought it'd be a great time to try out this thing and see how it does today. So, working. I'll just kind of slip it on the handle here of my dolly. Yeah, we'll just let it hang there. It's bright and early in the morning. Sun just barely came up. And, I don't know, probably right around dark, somewhere around 5 or 6 tonight. We'll try it out, see if it's still working. Alrighty, it is 7:04 in the evening. I just quit working for the day. So, as you can see, it's 31 outside. Got the garage nice and warm to 66. So let's hop outside and see if that lighter still works at 31, even though it's been sitting out there all day. Oh, and it rained earlier too. Let's see if it lights. It's been in the rain. Left it out in the rain all day. Nice and wet. Look at that. It's going to get pretty cold tonight. I forget what the low is supposed to be. Somewhere around 20. So, you know what? I'm going to leave it hang there all night, and we're going to try it first thing in the morning. It's nice and wet. Still works. Okay, it's actually been 2 days later since my last update, and whoa, it got cold outside. 7.6. I did not realize it got that cold. Whew. It's working. Well, that's impressive. Okay, I'm going to leave it hang there some more. So it's been hanging here for 4 days now in the cold outside. Still working. Well, there you go. Dramatic effect this morning. I need to go look at the temperature. I haven't done that yet, but just saw this is completely iced over. And thought I better try it out here real quick. Can you see it? It's working. Camera just really has a hard time picking that purple color up. Alright, let's go see what the temperature is real quick here. Yeah, it's basically 25 degrees out. Well, good morning again, YouTube. It is the 28th of January. It is 29 degrees this morning. So still not super cold, but it's snowing. I put this thing over here because I needed my two-wheeler yesterday. And so it is buried in the snow. I forget what day we're on. Find you a good background here. Yeah, I think it's a little weaker. It's just hard to see it in this light. It's definitely still working though. Well, so far so good. Okay, today is Tuesday, February 4th, 2020. And this thing has been sitting out here for how many days now? I've actually lost track. But anyway, it's about 28 degrees. It's been cold the last couple days. Let's see if it's still got any battery. Oh yeah. I just don't know why that doesn't show up on camera. That color just... That's working great.